little loud and jarring to start off. One thing I still need to do is figure out how to bring both the chats together, because I'm still streaming to YouTube, but I am not seeing my YouTube chat at all, which I feel kind of bad about. But oh well. Alright, I just gotta get some water and then we'll start up here. I don't even have my intermission up. That's what I should have up right now. There we go. Okay, we can get started here. Let me pull off intermission. And I may need to mess with the display renderer because I was having a little trouble. Both OpenGL and Direct3D 11 were both giving me a bit of trouble. Let me also just double check which one I'm using now. I'm using OpenGL, which is, I believe, my dedicated graphics are OpenGL based, or they support OpenGL. Yeah, let me also sure my speed's alright. Yep, I'm good to go there. Alright, fingers crossed on stability. I remember I was keeping an eye on the FPS. I might even throw the FPS up there just for the beginning. Just to keep an eye on it. I get little dips in there, down to 40, but then usually it's maintained at 60, so I'm hoping it's not too much of a worry. I don't know whether I should read this text. I'm just gonna skip through it. But if at any point you're watching the videos and would like me to read this, feel free to mention that. Otherwise, I'll just scroll through it. Also, I think once we have save states set, we won't have to worry about performance as much. And we can take off the FPS counter. Ah, it's bothering me. Let me real quick double check just the other renderer. I don't believe it needs a full reset in order to do so, but Direct 3D 911. Yeah, that seems a little more stable. Well, I'm indifferent, and I'm unsure. We're gonna switch back. I could also use GDI, which would be the worst decision I made. Alright. So normally we gotta talk to everyone here. I think we're actually gonna do that. Or do we go straight into corruptions? Let's go straight into corruptions, because there's no time here, which is nice. So we'll create a couple save states. And we're gonna go through just manually rapid prototyping these corruptions to see what makes the ROM tick. So we'll start off with those I'm corrupting up here, and I'll select WRAM, and I'll give it a couple of manual blasts with 1 intensity. Not seeing anything off the bat, even though it is kind of a small ROM. We'll bring the intensity up to 50. Oh, that performance drop is bothering me. It's mostly the sound tearing that's bothering me. I wonder if... But the sound's so good, I kind of want to mute the sound and play some background music instead, but... that's not a possibility. Anything else we can mess with while we're here? I'm going through the settings right now. Not much. We can try Direct 3D 9 one more time. Alright, and we'll start messing with WRAM. Couple manual blasts to mess with the tree graphics. Crash there. Another crash. Mess with the walk animation and also the speed as well, which is interesting. Couple of glitches here and there. Oh, that man changes into a woman when it walks. You're Anne? Yeah, you don't look like an Anne. But hey, who can judge in this society? Alright, see if anything resets when we go inside. Oh, I've got an apple in my head. Alright. My walk cycle, no, my walk cycle's good now, I just got an apple in my head as well. Or a cherry, I guess. No, it's an apple. Just keep in that manual blast. We changed this guy's sprite location. And are we trying to talk? Yeah, there we go. Press the Y button. My controls don't work, right? Let's increase that intensity some more. We'll bring it up to 200? 200. Something I'm liking so far is not crash heavy. Like, I'm not seeing a ton of crashes. And when I do see it, it's understandable because I've hit the button 30 times. And that bodes well for the rest of the stream, at least. Okay, so a couple things just happened. A, music's gone. B, it got replaced with a thunderstorm. C, why is Anne working inside? Time hasn't changed. There's no passage of time while you're indoors. So why is she here? Do we crash on the outside? I think we're gonna crash. Yeah. Alright, let's load our save state. This should be interesting. I'm excited for this one. Ooh, that was a bad crash. That was only 2 blasts, too. 1, 2, 3, and just like that, you disappear. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Oh, I don't have my notifications. Thank you if that was a follower or a host. I didn't actually get to see that. Oh, it was a host. Thank you, not good. I'm already having some fantastic luck with corruptions. I'm already trapped inside this building. This should be a fun stream for this. Oh, alright. Teleportation. That's fun. And another crash. A little bit of a pallet mess up. Negative trees. I'm liking a lot of the color changes too, which is interesting when you mess with WRAM. Is that how I usually run into color swaps or really anything of that nature? It's looking great though. Alright, let's mess with some of the other memory domains just to see what we can play with, and then we'll jump over to the glitch harvester and start making a stockpile. So automatically we know the ones that are rewind safe are CartRAM, VRAM, and OAM. We already know that VRAM are the visual effects that are on screen, and we usually don't touch that one because whenever you do, I can real quick demonstrate that. Let's just select VRAM, unselect, select this one. The screen just kind of turns into clown vomit eventually, and this doesn't have any lasting effects on the gameplay or the mechanics, so it's not that interesting with corruption, but it still does have a cool kind of visual effect to it. We're not palette swapping and we're not changing the colors of stuff, we're just kind of breaking the screen. Which is kind of cool to look at, but we usually don't touch this one unless we absolutely have to. Alright, next we're going to mess with, let's say I load my save state. I'm curious what CartRAM and OAM are going to do. OAM are all the object files, usually referring to sprites in the game, and we can tell if these sprites are being affected by just quickly hitting one manual blast and seeing the sprites flicker. Now, I'm not seeing any flickering, not seeing any tears on the sprites, which means that OAM might not actually be pointed at these sprites. We can try a quick auto blast. I'm not seeing anything on screen being affected, so either this specific game doesn't use that memory pool, or it doesn't store them in that fashion. Lastly, we want to mess with CartRAM, so this last memory domain here, and I'm not even sure what this one would do. Cartridge RAM. I would think visuals, because those are temporary objects, but that would be for RAM, so. Yeah, no, I'm not seeing too much. We're doing a fairly large corruption, so we should be seeing something, but again, not too much. Alright, there's a couple of also sort of unsafe memory domains that we can tap into. Ones that I won't touch are cart ROM, because that will be the actual cartridge ROM, which we could risk damaging the cartridge, or the ROM that we have for this case. Or it could be more difficult to load the ROM, we would have to reset the entire emulator in order to reset it. That's not fun to do. However, CGRAM, APU RAM, and System Bus are ones that I usually don't mess with. I'm not going to touch System Bus, but let's check out CGRAM. Curious what that will do. Alright, immediately every sprite has a highlight around it, which is interesting. This girl's red, I'm blue, chicken's white up there. Let's see. These guys change any colors. Yeah, every character's on screen changed. And that actually only seems to be affecting that, so that's interesting. It's storing the colors of these sprites within CGRAM, which I'm not familiar with that domain, but cool. So we can mess with that. Make some cool looking sprites, Jesus. Next up is APU RAM. Also not entirely sure what this is. Sounds like it might be the sound domain. Yeah, it does sound like it's that. So if we mess with this, we might want very small corruptions, because if we don't want to blow out the entire music. We'll just do intensity of 5. You can hear a little bit of crackle, a little bit of mess up. I'm unsure if we're going to be able to corrupt that in such a way that it produces like an interesting effect. Let's see if we can use a different engine, like the Hell Genie. Or have it even like skip to another song or switch instruments or anything like that. Kinda just sounds like death in my opinion. And again, you'll notice I loaded my save state, and yet the sound still persists. So, in this case, we have to reload the emulator, which I'm going to do here, which can be annoying, but, and then we can just go back to our save state. So that's why we don't mess with a lot of these memory domains. They're kind of unrewindable, untouchable, and I'm not going to be messing with AP RAM that much. However, CRAM we may touch. Alright, and with all that being said, we're going to start glitch harvesting, and I'd like to touch WRAM to begin with, since I want to produce most of the interesting results. So we're going to go down here to the glitch harvester, we're going to select a save state, and we're going to create a save state where we are. And now we can start sending random bits of data to the emulator, and hopefully producing interesting corruptions. I'll start just with a value of 50, to see if we can get anything off the bat. We might need to increase this to 200 like we were earlier. Which I think we're actually going to do. Now we may want to actually create a save state inside a building, since those ones are more immediately apparent what the corruption actually is. So I'm going to go over here to and shop. Actually, I don't think it's and shop. Whose shop is this? The blacksmith shop? Is my character spitting? I forgot about I had a load of corruption there. He's kind of sidestepping. Does that persist outside? Yeah, he does. All right. Wow, what's with that one on top? That's this corruption here. Yeah, left to right is sidestepping. All right, I immediately dig it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this corruption here from our stash history. And what we're going to do is actually sanitize the corruption. And what that does is it makes it a more stable corruption. It will result in less crashing. If there's audio tears, we'll remove those. If there's visual bugs, we'll remove those, etc., just until we have the exact corruption that we want. In order to do that, we're going to randomly disable 50 of the corruptions that we applied, and see if the corruption that we were looking for still persists. In this case, when he goes to the left, it does not. So we want to invert the ones we disabled, and check if it's within these 50. And it is in this case, so we're going to remove the remainder and repeat the process until we just have 1 or 2 memory instructions. And now with 3 left, we can probably guess which one of these instructions actually corresponds to this glitch. We're disabled to one of these two, so we can just manually disable one, load corruption. And we see that this is not the one, so we're going to swap these two. And this should be the memory address we're looking for. And it is. So now we can remove the final one, and we have our single instruction right that tells us what creates this sidestep corruption. So we're going to send this to our stash. Oh, I wasn't displaying the blast header that entire time. Well, anyways, let me display that now. Now that it's not relevant to anyone. But there's that one instruction. We're going to send that to the stash. And now we go to the stash history, and it's this bottom one, and we can send that to our stockpile and call this sidestep. And since it's not a very descriptive name, we're gonna want to add a note to it. That note saying moving left or right causes the character to sidestep. Period. Alright, great. And I think we're all set. And I think I paused the emulation there, because anytime I hit enter, it pauses it. There's a hotkey to speed up the emulation. I keep accidentally hitting that, or slow it down. I gotta stop doing that. Alright, we're good to go. Now we can load our save state, and I'd like to also, like I said earlier, go into a building before doing anything else, because it's immediately apparent if there is a corruption that exists. Okay, and from in here, we're going to create another save state. We can also name these save states with really short names, so we can say city entrance, and we'll create a new one that says, I still know who this is. I think this is the blacksmith. We'll call it that. Blacksmith. Great. And did I properly create that? We should be able to load it. Yep, okay. Let's actually resave it though, so he's not in the air holding something. And let's step in a little bit. And save. Alright, great. And let's see if we can corrupt some more. And since before it took us a couple manual corruptions to get an interesting result, that requires us to up the intensity if we're doing just for one shot, so we can bring this up to 1,000. We know the game was fairly stable, so it shouldn't crash too often. It's surprisingly stable, actually. Let's bring this up to 2,000. Oh, sorry about that. I'm still not seeing too much yet, so that just gives us more reason to increase the intensity. We'll bring that up to 4,000. Double the amount we're doing. I can also take that FPS off. I probably should do that, so it's not so annoying. And I just realized why we're actually getting any results is because I'm using the Hell Genie engine, which doesn't seem to be working too well with this this game, at least with the WRAM. So let's change this back to Nightmare Engine, and we can try knocking the corruption down. Let's try the 4,000. Yeah, it might have serious results off of that. So we might want to knock this down to 2,000. And it didn't crash there, so let's knock it down a bit. It doesn't need to be intense. That's just a different house. Another crash. We should probably bring it down even further. Another crash. We'll do 500. That's a cool looking result. Do we go up to the top screen if we go all the way up here? If I get all the way up there? Oh no, I switched rooms. Shoot. Okay, well that doesn't persist. What was that? Was that a dog? Oh no, the head just split open. Oh, okay. He glances behind him, all nervous. I'm gonna let the song go for just an extra half a second. Yeah, there we go. Because the beginning of that song has a loud screech, which I'm not enjoying. There we go. Oh, what was that? What? Alright. What is that rate when I move forward? What am I turning into? No, the issue doesn't last. Alright. Can't move forward from here, which is interesting. Oh, we seem to have learned teleportation. Cool. Is that me? He's me, isn't he? Yeah, look. He's just reversed me. It's the back of my head. Welcome. Oh, I should probably take off the FPS counter. It isn't so relevant anymore. View FPS. Let's increase the intensity some more. 800. His head's on the counter. Welcome! He's gone in this case. Is he still interactable? So I must not be talking actually to like the sprite that's here. It's like this portion of the desk is what's initiating this conversation. In which case if I talk here, yeah, he's not even here. Lots of crashes. I'd like to also try, we're using random blast types now, we're going to try tilt types to see how that... Oh, I didn't... Whoa, what happened there? Oh, I cleared the issue. Shoot. There's two of me, but it crashed on... Boop. Welcome. Yeah, it's another one of those visual ones. Huh. Yeah, I can't imagine what the engine's going through when it's doing this. Make everything sand. If not sand, make sand. Couple more crashes. I'm in between. Do I want to have a bigger corruption so we were more likely to get interesting results, or do I have a small corruption and we have to corrupt a lot in order to get something? We're also getting a lot of the same corruption in here. We might want to swap rooms or go outside. Oh, what happened there? Yeah, the entire world shifted. It's funny now that I think about it that I can correct something like that. Yeah. Let's try random tilt. Yeah, I mean, there are corruptions happening, but it seems like I like that one, that's pretty looking. But it seems like it throws us straight back. Ooh. Epilepsy warning, by the way, for the entire stream. I don't know what triggers this coloration. Is it random? If I stand still? Yeah, it's just random. Alright. I need this guy's name in order to name this corruption. I don't know his name. Awesome. I don't think he ever introduced himself. Well, anyways, we're going to try to preserve this corruption. So we're going to open this in the blast editor. And once again, I will make sure you guys can actually see that this time. Okay, it came up automatically. Let me adjust it to the screen. There we go. Okay, there we go. And like I said earlier, we're going to randomly disable half of these corruptions. I adjust that window a little bit. And see if the corruption persists, which it doesn't in this case, so we're going to invert the corruptions that we disabled, check if it persists, and it does in this case, so we can remove everything that's now disabled, and load another 50%. Corruption doesn't persist, invert, and load. Persist, remove, randomly disable, load corrupt, invert, load, persist, remove, and you just keep going in this fashion. Now we're down to just two. Let's randomly guess one of these. And it's that one. So we can remove the disabled one, and this is our instruction that is creating this odd effect on the stone and ground. So we're going to send that to our stash. Now with that in our stash in the glitch file register, we're going to send that to the stockpile. And I don't know this guy's name, so we're going to call it Blacksmith Disco. It'd be better if I knew his name, because then you can, do a pun. Anyway. Looks that off. Alright. And we're good to go for more corruptions. I had a lot of interesting, flashing corruptions in the past two streams. Or three, I guess. I had one with the dogs game. I guess actually, yeah, never mind. A lot with the dogs game, though. That was on Game Boy Advance. If we wanted to, we can combine Sidestep and Blacksmith Disco together to make some kind of hoedown, but I'm gonna hold off on that for the time being. See how interesting the rest of the corruptions get. And I was hoping we'd get a lot more with the Blacksmith guy specifically. Here, let me go up the desk and create another save state. Save. Yeah, let's create some more here. Just to see if his text changes. Create history. Bring the intensity up to 700 and keep going. Making sure I'm able to talk to him is my check that the corruption's working, and if I don't see anything visually, then I'll move on. Now that's an interesting one, but you would have to know a lot about this game to even notice it, and it doesn't seem to persist. If I load this again, the text box is up at the top. Why? I don't know. Oh, this one, he just died. Lots of crashes here and there. Alright, I kind of like this one. Let's make sure I really like this one. Okay. Let's see if this persists outside. That looks like... Oh, I can't walk, though. That's unfortunate. Okay, well, that's good, because you know what we can do? We can sanitize the corruption. And if we can get that audio bug to stay, and also even we might even go on and keep this one. Oh, look at that dance. But if we can get this audio corruption to work with anyone, that'd be fantastic. It's a multi-purpose corruption. It's almost like they removed well, all the text is messed up. I was gonna say, it's almost like they forgot a null character, like in C++ or whatever. We just keep reading a value past the purposeful ending point, just reading garbage data. I love that it does that visual effect, though. I wonder if you just keep going. It does. Keeps overriding. Love it. Okay. So, let's load our corruption. We're gonna do this. I'm glad I checked that time. We're gonna right-click this and open in the Blast Editor. Can we rename this off the bat? I don't think we can. We can. Okay. We're gonna rename this just to edit, because I know I need to edit that for two different corruptions now. One for the move it bug and one for the weird no pointer bug. We're gonna open this in the Blast Editor. Go. And this one's a little bit harder to check because it's not a visual bug that's immediately apparent, so every single time you remove 50% of the corruption, you also have to talk to the guy to see if it worked. So that can be a little bit more time consuming, but let's power through it. We're also using a much higher value of corruption, which intensity is 700. You'll see there's a lot more memory writes here in this list. So we're going to see if the issue persists now. And it does, I believe. Yeah, it does. So remove disabled. And do it again. It worked again. Move, disable, load. Okay, it doesn't work there, so we're going to invert. And load. Good. Remove. Random. Load. Good. I'm sorry if that starts getting annoying. It might. Okay, cool. So we have our one instruction, which is writing 77 to source address F. Huh. Alright. What we're going to do is we're going to send this to the stash. And now we should be able to walk as well, which we're not able to. So I was hoping that by sanitizing the corruption, it would have this walking corruption and the talking as two separate memory writes, but unfortunately they are combined. You can't have one fact without the other, which is alright. That just means we only have one in the stockpile. So I'll have to name this something. I don't want to say like something simple, like blacksmith sees demon. Oh, I have an idea. No, wait. There we go. Personal mouth blacksmith. Blacksmith talks to snakes. Let us load that corruption so we don't hear that anymore. I have to make a note in this one stating just talk to the blacksmith. A movement bug prevents the user from leaving. Period. Okay, great. We're ready to move on. That's funny, it doesn't always do this. It's like, press A to tip your hat. So that's the only button that doesn't. Not too interesting, so we'll move on. Yeah, it does it again. It's like, takes off his entire head. How about that? Oh! God, I've never actually seen that effect. I don't think I go that close to death. Welcome, me and the person standing on top of me. He's hiding under the counter. We're gonna clear history and send another blast. We'll eventually change rooms and also switch some of our engines around. I'm just hoping to get a little bit more out of this if I can. That's a fun visual. I love stuff like that. I love visuals that are just so messed up that you don't even know how the emulator got that to that point, or the game got to that point. I love it. Let's try higher values of corruption. I'm curious. Let's try 2000. And we're gonna crash a lot, that's alright. I wanna get some interesting stuff. Yep, that was an interesting one. Can I avoid crashing this one? Ooh, alright. Let's keep going with this, let's see what else can we do. So talking to him, there's a flower and crashes. Going anywhere else... Oh no, facing left in general, throws a flower up and crashes. Facing up. Ugh, I don't believe it. What does that do? What even is that thing? It's the guy that was standing outside with Robin. I love it. Can I sell these guys? Oh, it crashed, alright. So that's left up, and right is... As soon as you drop it, this really weird crash. And let's see, down... Oh, come on, this is the corruption, it just keeps giving. It keeps on giving. And is that multiple copies? Yes, it is. I love it. So, wait, here, I'm gonna take off push to talk because I'm using two hands. Or one hand, I should say. I love it. Alright. We have to sanitize this corruption, and I'm hoping this effect persists fairly easily. Open this in the blast editor. Man, that's a good one. And I wouldn't have got it if I didn't try talking to the guy, so I'm glad I am doing that. Very helpful. So the effect we're looking for, we're just going to see if we can do these two. We don't need to check the other two because they're going to crash. So let's see if we can get that effect to persist. Because we have 2000 intensity, this is a lot of corruptions to go through and disable, so this might take a little bit, like an extra 2 minutes on top of how long it would normally take. And it's also not an easy to replicate bug, or it's not a visual bug, so it's not immediately apparent what the result of disabling half these is. So that worked, and I'm curious, have we messed up the other two corruptions? So this one still works, and this one still works, and this one still picks up a flower. Okay, I think we're still good to go. I want to double check the right one. Yeah, alright. Disable half, keep going. Something else I haven't checked, does this persist outside? Can we go outside? We can't even go outside, alright. We can't use doors. What's going on with my walking here? Oh, there's an object here. I'm really often amazed how most of these interesting corruptions really are just one line of data sent to memory. It's not multiple lines working in tandem. This is just probably going to be one singular line of corruption. Always amazing to me. And for that reason, I mean, making multi-factor hybrid corruptions probably wouldn't be that difficult, because you're adding in just 2 or 3 extra lines. On top of, I have 4 lines in the blast editor right now. I can just edit all 4 of those to be our existing corruptions that we have in the stockpile, and we'd have a brand new corruption off the bat. It'd be a little repetitive, but still new regardless. Alright, it looks like we have, our working line. So this, wow, adding stuff to the source address F seems to really be doing something interesting. Let's try manually setting values here. I'll make sure this works. So I'm going to send this to the stash, and we're going to save this and all that kind of stuff. Just preserve this, so we're going to call this cloning machine. We don't have a very descriptive title. And I'm going to put in the notes... What buttons would we hit again? Shoot, that's right, I have an Xbox controller, so the button layout's a little bit different. Let me look at it in a SNES controller. Well, do I have control? Yeah. Shoot. Controllers. I'm hitting B on my controller. Which is A. Shoot. I'm gonna call B. I think it's A though. I'm gonna describe both. Let me pause the emulation so I don't mess things up. Writing descriptive notes can be tricky when you don't know the actual phrasing or the SNES controller layout by the back of your hand. Hitting A on the SNES controller or B on an Xbox gamepad produces a number of results. Facing north creates a, I don't know, it's about gargoyle. I think that's what it is. It looks like a gargoyle to me. Minus the stonework. Oh, shoot, I knew I was going to do that. Excellent, pause the emulation. Creates gargoyle. Is it after or before we drop the item? Let's see. I healed myself. I shot him. Creates a gargoyle. It's essentially while we have the item in our hand. Okay, facing north. Now facing south. Creates a clone of the character. And press the same button again to drop an invisible item. Great. Facing west. Pick up a, I think it's just like an herb. This crashes the game. Facing east. Pick up an invisible item. Dropping this item will crash the game, but produce an interesting visual. Great. I'm sorry for the little beeping sounds. Those ones. It's for some reason my laptop only supports a number of keys that you can press down at the same time. So caps lock and hitting 2 or 3 successive keys makes it scream at me. But great, those are our notes. North, south, west, and east. They're descriptive. They are enough. So that is good to go. I'm worried that writing too much of the notes could be off-putting, but that's all right. And now that we still have the blast adder up, I'd like to see what changing more of these values would do, because before, when we created the Parcel-Mouth Blacksmith, the value that we sent to source address F was 77. This is the same one, source address F, but value of 1. Will changing this value produce anything interesting? Can we increment this value and see if it does anything interesting? Get out of my way, get out. Yeah, that's... Immediately we have a new text dialog. Super interesting. Super interesting. We could save this and throw it in the stockpile and call it Angry Blacksmith. I don't think it's that interesting though. What's interesting is we can mess with this value. So we're gonna try 3. This one makes the entire house. Wow, the walls don't work. That's alright. Unfortunately, yeah, doors don't work either, so kind of stuck here. Alright, let's try bringing this value up to 4. That one crashes, unfortunately. Try 5. Think again. Tools in the shed. Can we walk through walls again? We can. Let's try powers of 2. So we had 1, 2. Let's try 4, 8. Nothing there. Let's try 16. We're getting more of the same result. We'll try 32. This might be affecting really what's this character's dialogue tree, this character's dialogue choices, because if we did value 2 and he told us to get out of here, right? Is that 2? Get out of my way, get out. So those might be the only things the guy ever says. Parameter 1, parameter 2. Let me check this again. Parameter 1 is just... oh, that's right, this weird thing. And parameter 3 and all those other ones are just normal, what he would normally say. Tools in the shed. But however, once we pass the value of 64, so let's try 64. Let's see if 65 creates some kind of overflow for the guy, because that's where we might have ran into that bug where he froze in place and couldn't stop talking. Oh! Okay, so we're back to this bug. Interesting. This came up again, and we can still clone. Can we talk to the guy? Still talk to him, and there's no overflow for this. However, notice 64 plus 1, if there is an overflow, if this is just, I don't even know what the values would be for this. If the integer is 64 bits, an overflow value would be 65 would equal 1. So imagine if we did 66 here, we should get the get out of my way dialogue again. Or we get a very odd overflow, which is this. Okay, cool. So we understood a little bit more about this problem. That's kind of neat. I like that. I didn't expect that at all. So any really value over this, so let's try FF. This is going to do the same effect of... nope, I can talk to the guy. It also seems to mess with how I walk a lot. FF just way too high. Let's try 127. Just a value under... oh, it lets me do 127. No, it won't let me do 127. 64, 65? Yeah. 120? 100? 99. Okay. Won't let you exceed values of 99. Oh, this one even does characters, but it's... huh. Look at that. Some tile sets in that one. Okay. My morbid curiosity makes me want to turn this into E and see what value 1 here does. I don't think we'll actually do anything, but... oh, I also increase the speed, it sounds like. Config, speed, yeah. I don't know what that hotkey is. I gotta figure that out. My morbid curiosity wants me to mess with other memory addresses. Yeah, we're not gonna get anything from that. We just got lucky with that one time. Alright, we are going back to random corruptions. We'll keep that 2000-bit intensity on. And yeah, alright. What did we do? Looks like the ROM or the memory pulse reset. I can tell because there's visual bugs on the screen, which means the VRAM memory domain is selected, which I don't want to mess with. Oh, he turned into me. I turned into him! What? I like that one. Let's see. Oh, I just am him. Okay. But you can still talk to him. And we just trade places for a second. And he soul sucks me. Yeah, it's too bad I'm frozen in place. I would love to mess with this some more. Let's throw this to the blast editor. Let's see if we can get some other interesting results from this. So, open this again here. We'll try to narrow it down to just this corruption. We're going to see what's creating us to swap positions with the guy. And from there we can try messing with that memory address a little bit more to see if we can get something else from it. So let's load this corruption, see if the issue persists. It doesn't, so we're going to invert the objects we disabled. We're using a very high intensity, so it may be a little intensive. We're going to invert disable again. We should see our corruption persist. It does. And we'll keep going through in this nature. We're getting real lucky with these rolls. Okay, and we, I believe, have our culprit. We do. So, with this one. Writing the value of 1 to the source address 906 produces this very strange result where we can trade places with the blacksmith. Unfortunately, we are still stuck in place, we're still locked in place, so that doesn't change. Or does it? Wow, alright. So here's a good test, I'm curious. We're gonna load this again. How are we loading this? Loading from here. Talk to the guy. We're gonna take 1 step, 2 step back, and all the way up. Okay. Now we're gonna step 1, 2, up. Yeah. So I believe we're trading positions with the blacksmith. We're going to his position on screen when we talk to him like that, or when we become this guy. And our movements are still valid from that location. And while the sprite doesn't actually move on screen, you can still move the character around. Let's see if I can get outside the bottom door. That doesn't appear so. Anyway, super interesting. We're going to save this to the stash. And throw this on stockpile, call it become a blacksmith. And we can note player swaps position and sprites with blacksmith. Character is not movable. And lastly, we can say something like character position on map not shared with POS location. And that's good enough note for that. I think people will understand what's going on. And now that we have that corruption going, I want to see if I can mess with... Oh, actually, on screen you can see where he moved to. I want to see me messing with the source address a little bit more. We set just a value of 1 to it. Let's try a value of 2. And load that corruption. In this case, the blacksmith is just gone. Or it flickers, I guess. And then it crashes. We'll try a value of 3. Same thing. Now we're going to try an overflow value of 65. And we do see the same result as a value of 1, which makes sense since we're overflowing. We're going to try a value of 99. And just an out flat crash, and we'll try a value of FF, or the maximum value permitted. And once again a crash. It's not too interesting, but we still got a nice corruption out of it. Where you become the blacksmith. And we're going to try re-rolling this corruption, which will just send random values to the corruption, to the one that we created, to see if we can get anything new. We probably won't because we already played with the values that we send. Yeah, we're not getting anything new from it. Alright, let's go ahead and create some new corruptions. Just double checking that I can still talk to the guy and movement still works for each of these cases, and just seeing if anything odd happens on screen, in which case we can take a sec to stop and look at the corruption. Change the text box location until you move. Oh, interesting. Oh, that one's a cutscene. Alright. Either that or crash. Yeah, it started a new day. Alright. Out of context, you might not know what's going on, but it's kind of interesting to see live. Actually, we're not even supposed to be at the home yet. So that's even funnier. We haven't stopped, or we haven't spoken to everyone in the town hall. Alright. Let's go ahead and blast more data. Oh, sorry about the little bit of latency there. There we go. Ah, nice visual. Alright. Kinda chirpy visual there, look at that. Huh. Kinda looks like a fog or a water effect. Alright, I think we have almost just about exhausted at least the surface level corruptions with the blacksmith. So we may want to go outside and try some outside corruptions. Or at least finish talking to all the townsfolk and go to the farm for some farm corruptions. We'll give it 5 more. There's 2 of me in this one. Only when he walks out of us. Does that persist outside? No, it doesn't persist outside, unfortunately. This is our 4th. Oh, this one we changed locations. That's neat. And the screen starts breaking. And this is our 5th. And even though we had a little bit of a screen blip, it immediately fixed itself as soon as we moved. So that'll be it for inside the blacksmith. We'll go and load our fresh corruption, or I'm sorry, our fresh save state, and we'll make our way outside. We'll now try to corrupt Anna. Anna is right out here, I believe. Anna, right? Anyways, yeah. Let me actually load that one more time. We want a fresh dialogue. So we'll make a save state right outside before we talk to the person. Great. We'll select save state 3. And make a new save state. And we'll call this Anna. Because that's who we're going to be messing with. Load that. And now we're ready to corrupt. We can blast 2,000 bits of data. And wait until we don't have crash. Actually, that was an interesting looking one. And so was that. Let's check out the first one. Want to see if it does anything else outside of this. No, it seems to be stuck there. Let's try the second one. And nothing outside that as well, just a little bit of screen tearing. Anna has become... what is that? Wool? Oh, it changes what direction she's facing. Oh, it's me! She becomes me! Wait. And her checks changes too, that's odd. Is that worth saving? Yeah, why not? You can save that. Let's go and select this corruption. We'll open it in the blast editor here. And we'll remove half the corruption until we have a stable version. So, let's randomly disable half of these, load the corruption and see if the issue persists. In this case it doesn't, so we're going to invert that. Disabling, and load the corruption again, in which case it saves in this case. Remove disabled, randomly disable another half, and we'll keep whittling it down until we have just a couple lines of code. They get a little bit of latency during this part. We have a lot of instructions here in this list, and we're just going through and randomly choosing half of them. So, we may get a little bit of latency here and there. Okay, we're nearly there. We got about 6 or 7 addresses left. Now we're down to 4. Now we're down to 2, and we can probably guess at this point which one's which. So that one is the culprits, and we have our single instruction to memory that creates this odd effect with Anna. So we're going to throw this into our stash, which will throw it into our stash history over here in the glitch harvester, and we can take it from the glitch harvester onto our stockpile. In which case we need a name for it. Shoot, what would you even call this? Anna's... Anna's double agent. Yeah. If anyone comes up with a cleverer name than that, let me know. We'll make a note in this just saying Anna changes her sprites based on direction. Alright, great. And now that we have this corruption, we're going to try re-rolling it to see if we get some different corruptions from it. This one, Anna disappears. This one, she has the same effect here. Yeah. Except her text isn't blue anymore. Disappeared again. Alright, we don't seem to be getting much else other than that. So we will leave this corruption be, and we'll start blasting some new ones. That's interesting. This still works. Look at that. Looks broken as all hell, though. Does it wipe on the inside? No, it actually persists. Or at least this box does. Huh. It's like the state for the box being up switches if you actually talk to someone where that is required. Well, not super interesting once the visual bits go away. And there's no text that's visible, so it's not really playable. Still cool to look at, but we'll move on. Oh, that just crashed the game? Alright. Oh, I like that effect on the houses. Does that keep... yeah, that moves. Disco houses. Epilepsy warning for the stream. If you experience that, we will have a lot of bright flashing imagery, so be cautious. Be safe. We're going to be saving this corruption, because it looks like Christmas to me, which I like. We'll open this in the blast editor, and once again, sanitize your corruption. Always get to sanitize your corruptions. Makes them stable. If someone wants to play a little bit further in where you played, it ensures that they will have a good experience with it. And at some point, I'm just gonna stop even mentioning what I'm doing. But again, we're disabling half the corruptions that we applied to memory, removing the ones that are unnecessary, until we have a desired result. The reason why we start with so many, like we do blast like 2,000 bits worth of data. I don't know the exact amount, it might be 2,000 times 4, because it's a byte. But you have more likelihood of an interesting thing happening when you do 2,000 random bits of meaningless data, which is good. You want more interesting stuff to happen, but then you have to clean them up afterwards. A little bit of spring cleaning. Great, we almost got this one all cleaned up. Down to just a couple memory writes. Got 2 left here, we can just manually select one and disable it. See if the issue persists. And it doesn't, so we know for a fact that this top one is the bottom one is the one we're looking for. And we can double check. Yep. And we still have the sort of house glowing effect, with this one singular memory writes up here at the top to address 16F with the value of 1. So we can send that to our stash. We'll see it appear here in our stash history, and we can move that from our stash history to our stockpile. In which case we can call this something like we'll call it Xmas or Christmas. Christmas decorations, that works. And next time I hit the hotkey to slow down my emulation, so let's speed that back up. There we go. Christmas decorations, that a decent name? Yeah, I'll stick with that. And since it's just a visual bug, we don't have to worry about putting notes on this one. And we'll get some more corruptions from this. But first I want to re-roll this to see if we can get anything new from it. So we'll select this corruption here within the glitch harvester, re-roll it, and it'll send different values to that source adjust that we had selected. However, we're not getting anything new from it, at least that I'm seeing. The fences are glowing here. Does it do that in the default corruption? No, actually it doesn't, so that's interesting. And you know what, I kind of like the fence glowing too, because this one the roofs are just glowing. So you know what, let's take this one that we just created, this one, not this one, one where the fence is glowing. It's one of these. It's this one. So we see the fence is glowing over here, and a couple other things I'm sure are also glowing, like wall textures. We want to open this new one in the blast editor. Open this new one in the blast editor because we want to apply this effect to the other one. In which case we see this subtracts the value of 1 from 16F. I'm just going to jot that down. Sorry about the latency on the game. Okay, great. I believe that's actually the same. Oh, let's see. So we have that down. Yeah, pause it. Now we're going to look at Christmas decorations, and I want to see what this does to memory. So we're going to open that in the blast editor. So this adds the value of 1 to 16F. It's essentially doing the same thing, but one's subtracting and one's adding. So I don't know if we can do anything in this case. Let me see here. I'm doing a couple behind the scenes things to see if I can add some more addresses, which I'm doing now. One that subtracts and one one that adds. I don't think we'll get a different effect, because if you're adding and subtracting, you're essentially negating the whole effect to begin with. Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about that. Normally I would want to add that corruption, but since it's the same value, I'm not gonna worry about it. Alright, let's try some new corruptions. Oh, inject. We can try injecting. Let's try injecting. Yeah, inject didn't work. That just writes over. Alright, we're not gonna worry about it. New corruptions. Put that one to pass. Okay, in this case, the bar is closed. Yeah, you're not covering the bar, are you? This is the bar. You're preparing. Shoot, she's standing in the wrong house. I can't go into the blacksmith. All right. Ooh, what's up with my hat? Now this effect I like, and I think this is something I can throw into that other corruption. Let's see. In order to do so though, I need to break the corruption down to its components, which we're going to do in the blast editor. And we're going to bring it down to there's just 2 left. That's what I would like to do. And what's nice about sanitizing corruptions in this case is there's a lot of visual bugs going on, so sanitizing this will actually remove some of those visual bugs, if not all. Also, if there's any sound bugs, any instability, remove those as well. Okay, cool. So we eliminated it down to just 2, and I want to actually verify which one is the one we're looking for. Okay, it's this bottom one, so we're going to lock this in place. This is the one we want. I'm going to mess with this top one, since I am not as familiar with adding rows to this, adding extra commands. So instead I'm just going to manipulate this top one to be a add command for the source address. I believe it was 16F. 16F, and be the value of 1. And it looks like I did that incorrectly. Let's see. Another one was subtract. Is it subtract? Oh, because I have this disabled actually. So it's enabled that now. Load the corruption. And there we go. Now we have 2 combined corruptions together. The house one that we saw earlier with the sort of glowing roof, and we also have the glowing tiles. And now we're just a couple more corruptions away from a Christmas harvest moon. Anyways, we're going to send this to our stash. And from the stash, we're just going to name it the same as that other item that we had previously created, which is Christmas decorations. Future moon, yeah, right. If there was any notes with that existing corruption, it would carry over, but there's not, so we can just remove the old item. And now we have a hybrid corruption with two corruptions put together. And from there, we can create some more. Now this is an interesting looking one, and I almost want to take the palette swap from it, because you can see the difference between the houses of this one. Like the shadow that's towards the left of the blacksmith's house is green, whereas in this one, it's orange. It almost gives it a fall or autumn kind of look. And it's Halloween now, so, or it's Halloween season, it's October. Gets me in the fall mood, but I'm going to leave this one be for now. However, we run into more autumn-related color swaps, so I might make a autumn-dedicated corruption. Ah, the last one had a nice little freak out there. Yeah. Ah, I like the purple of this bricking. Future Moon. Wasn't To the Moon called Future Moon, actually? Or Futuristic Harvest Moon? Or was that something else? No, that was Rune Factory. That's what I'm thinking of. Ooh, I like this one still playable. And everything's fucked. Look at that. Was it just a visual novel? I always consider playing it because they call it, I think in their advertising, yeah, Futuristic Harvest Moon. Wait, which one didn't play much like Harvest Moon? Oh, you're talking about To the Moon. Yeah, yeah, okay. I had to play Rune Factory still. Anyways, this is a nice messed up town. Yeah, I should. I kind of want to keep this one because how messed up it looks. Can't decide on it though. Oh, we should start corrupting the church. That's what we should do. Yeah, we're gonna start corrupting the church. Let us load a fresh save, and let's head up to that church. Oh, that's right, the game doesn't fast forward very well on my machine. And we'll just start with the pass route here. We'll create a fresh save state here. So I'll select save state 4. Actually, save state 1. We can write over that. And we'll call this Pastor. Pastor. And we can verify. Yep, that works alright. And every time you load it, the main character looks behind him, all wondering what you're going to do to him. And let's blast some data. If he crashes, he stares behind himself endlessly. It's great. Oh, is that another day? Yep. We triggered another day again. Again, out of context, that seems pointless. You just start in your house, but live, that's pretty cool. Because we're not even supposed to be home yet. And we had the dog event before we had the Anna event, so we're messing with the days. This is, I think, the second day, so this one makes sense. Anyways. Ooh. Yeah. I think I can preserve the sprite. Let me And the visuals go back to normal anyways, so let me try preserving the sprite. We'll open this in the boss editor, and we'll just try to pay attention to that specifically. Because it's a cool looking sprite, and all of them are kind of darkened out, like their shadows are removed. Or the shadows are turned up all the way, I should say. So we'll randomly just save half of corruptions, and see if we can get that effect back. I'm hoping there are multiple corruptions that are creating this effect, like one that's creating the background to be brown, one that's creating the sprite effect, because then we can remove the individual corruptions, but we'll see. It's looking like so far though that's not the case, since these are usually always grouped together. They are. So they may just be one combined corruption, which I'm not too happy about, but that's alright. In which case I could try re-rolling it. So yeah, there's our one line, 9A72 is our value. I'll send that to the stash. And well, let's try re-rolling it off the bat. Let me name this one so I don't lose it. Re-rollable. And let's see if we get some new effects, or at least a better looking one. Seems like the sprite coloration is actually the one that's kind of the rare one. The rest of these are always appearing. Well, there's one. Huh. Oh! That is nearly what we want, except I don't like how the feet get corrupted. And the city's even worse, and I don't think it returns back to normal. No, it does. And it also doesn't persist after room. You know, we might call this one a lost cause. Let me check out re-rollable again. Yeah, his feet are fine to this one. Yeah, let's save it. We'll call this one Dark Sprites. And we'll put a note, visual glitches. Our temp. Walk around screen to remove. Okay. Let me slow down my emulation again. I gotta turn off that hotkey, I swear. And we'll create some new corruptions. I'm hoping to at least get a full list by the end of this. And let's start another day. Oh, that one, no, it teleported me. Really? That's an odd one. Is it upon talking to him it teleported me? No, it just it straight up brought me over here. Alright. We're not getting an awful amount out here. We may want to migrate to the inside of the church, which I think we're going to do in 5 more. Oh! Oh, I don't want to do that, unfortunately. That was an interesting one before that, though. 2. Neat terrace. 3. That's just dark. What happened there? Just went black? Yeah. 4. And 5. Okay. I like the coloration on the crosses. That's weird. Load. Clear history. And let's go inside the church. That's cool. It says the events of the year here. Neat. Oh, but don't go through it again. Alright, we're going to create a save state here. We just override again. We'll call this church. And we're going to switch up our corrupting methods for the inside of the church. I'd like to see if I can mess with the music and any of the visuals. Not the VRAM though, just the coloration. So, one immediate one I'm going to mess with is CGram, which should mess with all sprites in the room. If I select that memory domain and just do a manual blast, we'll immediately see the character turns into a red-eyed demon. It looks like now. But unfortunately, that's the only sprite in here that changes constantly, minus this character. So that's really all we're going to get in terms of CGram in here. So we may not have too much to mess with in terms of sprite corruption, or palette swaps, I should say, but that's alright. What we can also mess with is, let's see if there's any object files. No objects, that's alright. APU-RAM will mess with the sound effects of the game. However, we only want very small corruptions for that. It's also not rewind safe, so we're going to create a save state. Oh, we already have a save state. We're going to blast it with just small bits of data. So we'll try that here. You can notice almost immediately it has sort of an odd instrument effect, and this is just with an intensity of 1 bit. We can try re-rolling this. Not getting much, not too many interesting results with that. Let's try upping the intensity up to 5 and blasting more data. Yeah, we'll just keep doing iterations. That's an interesting one. The organ has some delay to it. I like that. As compared to the normal one, which is this. Compared to... kind of has like a Doppler effect to it. I like it. I might be using the word Doppler wrong in this case. Like it's passing by. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong on that one. Anyways, I'm gonna save that one on the stockpile. Yeah, I have to sanitize it. This one I was gonna say I might not even need to sanitize it, but better safe than sorry. Better safe if someone wants to listen to it for a minute or so and it crashes. Luckily, we're only using intensity of 5, so there's only 5 bits here, so I don't have to worry about disabling too much. Not 5 bits, there's 5 memory writes, I should say. Oh cool, we actually got it right here, CD. We'll save that to the stash. And we'll throw it on the stockpile. We have Doppler organ. And we'll say in the notes, organ has a slight delay to it. Okay. We'll try some higher intensity. Let's bring it up to 20. I still want to be cautious of this though. I don't want any screeching in anyone's ears. 50. Sometimes, yeah, it will just be a single monotone, which I'm not looking for. Sounds like an accordion. Ooh. You know, I think I like that one even better in Doppler organ. Yeah, let's clean this one up. I like this one better. We'll replace it. Oh, unless it doesn't come back. Oh, no, it does. Alright. No, I'm happy with that. Alright, let's sanitize this corruption a bit. Getting real lucky with these rolls. There we go, I just missed one. Okay, cool. And we have our memory right. It is this one right here. And I do want to re-roll this one a couple times, so we're going to throw this on the stash. We're going to throw this into... We're going to rename this as Doppler organ because I prefer this one, and it's still the same kind of effect, and we'll remove the old one. It doesn't preserve the notes like I thought it would, though, so we're going to change the notes here. And we'll say organ has a slight delay to it. And that'll be our note for that corruption. And we'll re-roll it a couple times to see if we get anything interesting with the sounds of it. Now it just sounds jarring and worse, so we're not going to keep that. Same kind of thing with that one. And no, I think we lucked out with the original one, which just sounds, you know, gentle enough to sound like a good sound. So we'll keep that. And we'll blast some more data. Mess with that music a little bit more. See, I like these ones. It sounds somber. It's nice. I should mess with the music a little bit more in the other areas too. Now the question is, do we keep this strange one? My inclination is always to say yes. Yeah, we're keeping it. It sounds... Oh, other than that dreadful sound, it sounds fantastic. Oh, it's so bad. Oh, I'm so glad I have a limiter on the stream. It kills my ears. Alright, let's open this in the blast selector, blast editor. Before it doesn't know about those things. And we're gonna invert some of these corruptions. We want to make sure that this is stable enough so that anyone runs it, they get the same effects. And actually, I think I disabled the wrong one. Let's see. This is the effect we're looking for. You know what? We won't even open this one in the blast editor. We're just going to throw this right on top. Let me pause it so you guys don't have to listen to it anymore, though. We're going to throw it right on top because this one may have so many corruptions to APU RAM that trying to narrow down specifically which ones are causing that musical effect might be a little too difficult and it might be too much work. So we're just going to throw it right into the stockpile. We'll call it a cursed file, so in case if someone opens it, they know it might crash. And yeah, we'll call this cursed organ. And I'm happy with that. We're not going to mess with APU RAM anymore. We have a good sounding one and a bad sounding one. Now we can mess with some of the mechanics in this area or other areas. We might move on from here. We'll load our fresh save here though. Let's mess with cart RAM because I'm curious. I don't think this had any results last time we took a look at it. I will do an auto corrupt on it. Yeah, and it doesn't appear to be affecting any values. we don't want to mess with cart ROM. That'll be the ROM itself. So we'll go back to WRAM. Yeah, we're definitely getting interesting results with that still. So we'll throw this into the glitch harvester, and we'll start blasting with some data. We'll bring this up to 3,000 though. 3,000. There we go. Just expedite that randomness factor. And I did like, let's do it like here. Let's do it right up here. Why not? We'll create the save state. We'll save this. There we go. That one started fresh day. Or no, that one just straight up crashed, didn't it? Alright. What was that? If he just stands still, does he keep doing that? No, unfortunately he stops. The rooms are green though, which is neat. Or the walls are green. And her hair's blue. Alright, it looks nice. It looks neat. We'll move on though. Some nice visuals, and a crash. Another crash. Funnily enough, on these crashes, it always forces me to the front of the room where that other player is standing, where that NPC is. Oh, I love visual bugs. Music died. We're just going to switch from random tilt just to random blast types for the Nightmare engine. Oh, that's neat. Another crash. Yeah. We're made of steel. I'd like to actually move on to the Hell Genie engine and bring the max cheats. Right now the intensity is set to 3000, but that doesn't really matter. It's bound by the max cheats. So we'll set this to 100 and we'll up the max cheats to 100 as well. And let's try some Hell Genie. I'm curious how those will respond. If anyone's unfamiliar, Hell Genie will force a value using similar to Cheat Engine. We'll force a value to have a certain value. Oh! Took off and flew, look at that. Yeah, I can't even talk to him. Which can also, it can produce interesting results if you switch rooms or if you're moving around. It will force a value to keep it will keep a variable, I can't speak tonight. It will force a variable to keep its value, regardless of whatever the game tries to do to it. The demonic child flying away was funny, but I'm not going to keep that. You know, I think we should be doing these outside, though. Because inside we're not having too much luck. Oh, we need a fresh save, though. Let's load our church save. Go outside. Okay, great. I'll create a save state out here. Okay, we're not having a huge amount of luck. Let's try upping this to 300 cheats, intensity up to 300 as well. We worry about having large values because every iteration step needs to rewrite those values, so having a lot of cheats can actually degrade performance quite considerably. But looks like we're not seeing too much. So yeah, we might actually swap off Helgini. Instead, we can try the Distortion Engine. That would be fun. Can be a little finicky with Glitch Harvester though, forewarned. So we'll give that a couple tries. Press save, and Distortions. The finicky aspect of it is, and I'm actually not sure how it works with the Glitch Harvester, the Distortion Engine works in such a way that if I was auto-corrupting, every specified amount of steps, in this case we're using a distortion delay of 50, so every 50 steps it will back up data, and am I doing that wrong? Every 50 steps it will write data that's backed up 50 steps ago, and you know, every 51st step it will back up the first state stat. I'm bad at explaining this, you might have to look it up, but essentially you're just rewriting old data, and that can have an interesting effect by like replacing the character's location or screwing sprites up. Like you see how I just kind of rubber band back, and I keep kind of doing that. That's the idea. Brings you back to the past. And the reason why I'm not sure how that works with the Glitch Harvester is because the Glitch Harvester is just one effect, one blast of effects, and it's not a continuous corruption like the real-time corrupter. So I don't think this, or I don't know how it works, to be honest, if it works at all. Occasionally I'll see some corruptions here and there from it, but yeah. Anyways, we're gonna move on. I would spend a little too long on this. I'll try the freeze engine. We do need large values of freeze. It will freeze a couple of addresses with a specified max freeze amount, so we'll specify that at 500. And it's forcing those addresses to stay the same every iteration step, so again, we have a quite slow performance because of it. So much so that playing with the freeze engine might not be that interesting. So let us move on to pipe engine, which will pipe data from one memory address to another. Max pipes specified, so we'll do 50 max pipes. Not bound by intensity. A little bit of brown in the stones, it looks like, but outside of that, not too much. We're going to select all memory domains for this. All rewindable memory domains, I should say, so they don't crash BizHawk. And yeah, we're not seeing too much, unfortunately. But, again, the luck we seem to have was with the WRAM memory domain with the Nightmare engine. Every ROM has a sweet spot. This one specifically seems to be that one. Vector engine, we can give this a try. I don't think there's going to be any 64-bit addresses in this. Or ones that we can manipulate at least. Or goes with unspecified memory domains? I have no clue. Either way, I'm not seeing anything happening. And we have a fairly high intensity, so we'll call that one good. And we're going to mess with just the Nightmare engine some more. We can do all memory domains except for VRAM. And we'll do it on our save state. But then again, we already know that cart RAM and OEM don't have any effect. Only APU RAM does, and CGRAM. We'll change our blast radius to chunk, which may not have an effect if there's only one memory pool selected, but let's take a look. I'll up the intensity back up to 5000. And we'll change the blast type from random to int, or tilt I should say. We'll change our location. Same. Nice visual bug. There's 2 children. Neon church. And we're gonna keep crashing if I keep it at this high of an intensity, so bring that down to 3000. I'm gonna switch last side back to random. Let me see if we get some better results of that. And we're still on chunk radius. What was that? There's like a little guy there. Oh, also cutscene. Ooh. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. There's a little guy down here on this one. What's this thing? Oh, but this. Oh! Oh, no, that's just sad. Am I seeing that right? Yep. Someone left a baby on the church steps. Oh. It's... I haven't had the baby in this game, so I don't know necessarily if you just pick up the baby and bring it anywhere. If you can, this kind of looks like, out of context, that I just brought the baby to a church and put it down on the floor there. Then again, I can't drop it. Yeah, let's keep this corruption. I think that's interesting enough to throw into the stockpile. So open up the blast editor here and make sure it's all stable. I do notice a couple visual corruptions, like the baby on the ground doesn't show its blanket, and it looks like our main character has a little bit of screen tearing as well, or character sprite tearing. So let's remove half these corruptions. See if the issue persists. We're getting to fairly high amounts of corruption. We're having to select a lot of values here, so I may want to cool on the intensity. Is there a name for babies that were left on the steps of a church? There has to be a name for that, right? I guess I could just say orphan baby, which is sad. In this case, I'm just double checking that the baby is on the staircase every time. I'm also curious what happens if I go home with the baby. I'm gonna try that. Oh, I can't leave yet though, because the church is blocked, or the path is blocked. I have to talk to everyone first. Alright, we have our single memory address, which is on here. And you have to wonder what that's actually doing. Is it saying, at that tile location, put a baby? I mean, it's only the head, so it makes me think that like maybe this tile has an object in it, and that object just happens to be the baby. Can I interact? Can you talk to this? Take this. This is yours. What happens if I go inside the building with it? Oh, it won't let me. Alright. Anyways, let's send this to the stash, and we're going to try rerolling that to see if we can get some different objects at that location, maybe? I'm not sure how that's going to work. And we'll call this Orphaned Baby. And the notes will say, pick up the baby on the church steps. There we go. Orphan baby. Can we interact with this? Yeah, we can. As soon as we pick up the baby, we can't interact with stuff. Is he still there when we... Oh no. Oh no! Someone took it. I feel terrible. Let's reroll. Oh, we're rolling. Is that a full crash? Is that a new day? Full crash. I feel sick in this case. Some interesting results with this this specific source address, D5. So not only interact with objects, but a couple different mechanics that got triggered. Now we'll try some new corruptions. Some nice colorization to the church. That's crash. Some very nice coloration to the church. It looks Halloween-y. Good purple color. It's all in my head. Looks like it's squashed. That's a cool aesthetic. Let us save that. I like that. Looks inverted. We'll open this in the blast editor. And I'm curious, right now while we are crashed, I'm curious if we can remove the crash, because one of these memory rights might crash the game. We'll see if we can prevent that. Yeah, 3,000 is a lot. I am sorry. I'm saying sorry to the real-time corruptor. Nope, this all timed out. Emergency save for the stockpile. Okay, cool. Every once in a while, if everything starts crashing, you get a quick emergency save as in case you want to save your stockpile before everything else ditches. Yeah, I do need a core with huge corruptions. 3,000 is too many. Shoot. Looks like accidentally. That pink effect is gone. Alright, we'll have to go back to this one, sadly. Not even... Well, no. We should try seeing if we can fix it. It's just too large of corruption, sadly. Where's the domains I selected were? Okay, nothing there. Invert. Fingers crossed that this keeps the pink. And that doesn't crash on us, of course. Because it feels like it's getting close. Yeah, emergency save as. Can it push through? It can, and unfortunately that effect will not stay. Which makes you think it's the culmination of all 3,000 memory writes that creates that fantastic effect. We're going to stick with it and not worry about cleaning it up. We'll throw this on the stockpile. We'll call this Pink Church, and we'll say character is stuck, just visual corruption. Pink Church, is that the best name we can come up with? Wafer, waffle. What's that? Just that specific color of pink is reminding me of something. Oh shoot. Exciting, close down. There we go. I'm not sure. We'll keep it with pink chairs for now. Alright, let us move on with some more corruptions. How much spirits in this one? Everything work alright? If everything does, that's actually a neat looking corruption. Well, some walls. Oh shit, I forgot to knock down the intensity. Oh, this is gonna crash if I try removing stuff. Alright, bring this down to 2000. And I'll see if we can keep this. If we can, that's cool. If we can't, it's my own fault. Emergency save as. Oh, that's surprising. It's separated the teleportation one and the sprite corruption. So this one should have that black and white sort of look to him. Yeah, cool. That is nice that it took that out. Get nearly there. Okay, and we have our single memory writes that creates this ghostly effect. I'll send that to the stash, and we'll call this Ghost Sprites. And from Ghost Sprites, we're going to see if we can reroll it. So we're going to select it and reroll. And we do get some newly colored sprites, which is definitely interesting. And very neat looking. Everyone looks muddy in this one. I kind of want to throw this on them too. Let's just, why not? We'll call it Muddy Sprites. And let's reroll a little bit more. Oh, this one's... Is everyone else dead except for me? Oh, I hope that's the case. No, okay. Shoot, that would have been awesome. Alright, the rest of these are just going to be neat looking little sprite changes, so we won't mess with them too much. We'll try for some new corruptions now, after clearing history. Yeah. And we accidentally reselected. Anytime I guess Spizhawk and the real-time corruptor crashes, it reselects these memory domains. So we'll unselect them again. I'm always hoping when I see that black screen that I'm triggering a cutscene. The old Harvest Moon's kind of led me to that thought. Oh, the password's head was cut off on that one. This one. Yeah. So I'd like to do... I should finish introductions, because I would like to move forward and mess with the farmhouse a little bit, but I'm not going to be able to do that if I just keep messing around in the city. So let's do that. We're going to quickly run through and talk to everyone, and not press caps lock since I'm going to be using 2 hands of the controller, so stick around for a second. I don't know how extensively I need to meet everyone. Okay, I don't think I need to actually go through everyone's rooms and whatnot. She kinda looks like Barney from not Save the Homeland, A Wonderful Life and Harvest Moon DS. Marmy. I forget her real name. Has that big smile. Nina, no, you're potpourri. Silly. I think we've met everyone. We're good to go. Oh, I don't even know if I need to meet everyone. Oh. It's still nice. Still nice to meet everyone. Ooh, house corruptions. I'm excited for that. Why did I need to tell the guy I'm going to bed? Or maybe he's telling the player. It's just so weird. Let's create a save state here. We'll create a new save slot. Just call this house. Load. Good to go. 2000 intensity WRAM, let's go. Oh, we got a little thing at the top left. I don't know what that is. I'm curious if we get any TV corruptions. Probably not. I would need to be... Let me do some manual corruptions. There we go. Gotta let them start talking and then corrupt it while they're talking. Because then they freeze in place. Alright, that's fun. We'll go back to normal. I'll go back one. I don't know what that Anna Cockatoo event was. I should check how far along that was, because that was kind of a... Might have been far in the future, I didn't realize it. I will put that into Google and look it up later. Just for my own interest, really. Is he stuck here? Yeah, he's stuck here. Alright. We'll continue along. Let's try going outside. House corruptions seem fun, but it looks like we're not having too much luck. A lot of the stuff in this room could be getting corrupted, but we don't have time to check every single thing. Like the calendar, and the TV, and the diary, and the kitchen, if we're able to interact with it or not. Anyways, we'll try outside. Oh, we need a fresh save, though? There's a piece of corn on our house, so I think we need a fresh save. Yeah, there we go. Oh no, that's supposed to look like that, alright. Koro, wait! Oh, wait. We can't kill Koro. I love the graphics. Love the graphical effects. Alright, I'll let it be. Oh, there you are, Mr. Rancher. Will you please keep this dog for me? Oh. Aw. Its name is? What's the name of the same? Come on. I usually actually always rename it a different name, but I never realized that she called it Koro before, so she was probably sad that I renamed it. It's Koro. If it already has a name, it's keeping it. I was hoping she might have special dialogue for that, but I'm not surprised she doesn't. That's alright. Ellen, okay. Is that it? This is my dog now? Yeah. Alright. Save state with the dog in my hand. Do I get a heart icon if I drop it? Nope. It's just in my hands now. Alright. Let's see if we can corrupt the dog. Huh? Ah. I love when shadows change colors. It just looks so fantastic. I love it. And the dog agrees. Look at that purple. Ooh. More neat colors, alright. I'll say that until the end of time, I swear. Oh, look at the one up here. Ooh. Music changes and shadow coloration. Those are the things that make me tick for corruptions, I gotta say. Oh boy. That's a spread cycle. I'm still holding the dog, aren't I? Oh Jesus, I am. Put the dog down. It doesn't let me put the dog down? I would almost want to save this, but we have one very similar. And yeah, we're good as long as we go into a building. We're still doing just random values with the Nightmare engine. Let's try tilt values to the Nightmare. Not having too much better luck with that. And if you're like me and you're already tired of and you're already tired of the song, we can start messing with the song in a sec, because that's what I want to do next. Oh, that's kind of neat. It's not showing exactly where the player is. I like that. Another fake cutscene. Oh, I don't know what we're naming here. We'll call it B. Let's see what we just named. We named nothing. I'd also like, not for the stockpile purposes, but I would like to take a look at the distortion engine and just how it looks with the high distortion rate, delay I should say, and auto corrupt. Okay, yeah, I expected it would be a little weird. Cool, I'm happy I tried that. And we will switch back to Nightmare. Actually, yeah, we'll switch back to Nightmare. And let's mess with now Seagram. Ooh, what did we mess up there? Oh, the auto corrupt. Whoops, with 1,000, 2,000 value. Good thing I didn't screech in our ears. Let us tie Seagram. I want to see what the sprites look like. Yeah, the dog looks as awful as I thought he would. Oh. This just looks wrong. Dirty dog. Neon dog. Hot dog. Demon dog. Pikachu. Alright, we're done with that. Let's start messing with the sound. And I'm curious, 2,000? Would that just kill the music? Or give us weird screeches? Screeches, alright. Intensity, okay good. I was waiting for it to just kill itself. We'll knock the intensity down to 50, I think was a reasonable value last time, and we'll start seeing we mess with the music. And we can. Has a sort of deft effect like the church organs, but I'm not happy with this one, so we're gonna keep moving. Kind of sounds electronic, I like that. What happened here? Did it change key? Change octave? Either way, I love it. Alright, what's saving that? We can... What did I decide to do with the other one? Did I put it in the blast editor? I don't think I did. And I think just with these music ones, I don't want to mess with it. Even if it's intensity of 50, I'm not seeing Yeah, we're gonna keep it. I don't want to mess with the blast editor for this. We'll call this Dread. And in notes, I'll just do music corruption. Corruption. Okay, let's try some more. It's gonna be hard to top that one. Yeah, that sounds nice too. I don't want to throw on the stockpile, but it reminds me of flying. For some odd reason. It's like very airy. One note. Kill the music. Sounds like it's coming through a FM radio. Sounds kind of noisy. Another one note. Alright, let's try switching just to the next area, which I think has a different soundtrack, or another song. Nope, same song. Alright, we'll last that. What else can we do? I guess there's more Nightmare Engine, really. Outside of that, no new object files. Yeah, no, same ones. WRAM. You know what we're gonna do for this last bit? Is we're gonna affect the ROM itself. That's what we're gonna do. Because I'm happy with the stockpile, which I'm gonna do a quick rundown of all the features of it, or all the items that we made, I should say. And after that, we're gonna corrupt the ROM and see how long it will play before it dies. So starting off, the first corruption of the evening was Sidestep. This one here, where real simple one. Anytime you walk to the right or left, he sidesteps in one way or another. Now we have Blacksmith Disco. Entire floor of the blacksmith house changes colors progressively. I should put wait a second. Wait a second for color shift, because he had to wait a good 3 seconds, 5 seconds there. And then we had the parcel-mouthed blacksmith, in which case it turned out to be in, what would you call that, a string? No, it was an integer value that we're setting it, so an integer overflow. And that resulted in just a visual bug. Next up we had Cloning Machine, which was an interesting result where it had something to do with the picking up mechanic of the game, where if you picked up something, you can make clones yourself. And not only that, but you could also do this kind of Minotaur guy, if you, depending on what direction you pick stuff up at. And doing the left or right direction actually crashed the game. Oh, and I think I actually slowed down my ROM or emulation here. Let's speed it up again. I did. Anyways, doing the right or left actually crashed the game. Like that. So odd results on that one. Another one with the blacksmith is we became the blacksmith by talking to him. You are now the blacksmith character, and you must now give the harvester his demands, upgrade his weapons, stuff like that, and that's how you play the entire game. Moving on, we have Honest Double Agent. Not a super interesting one. The sprite would just change based on her direction. If you talk to her to this direction, she becomes you. Her up and down sprites are her normal, I guess her left sprite is her normal character. And her right sprite is this weird cotton ball thing. Next we have a hybrid corruption that we made actually ourselves, which is a combination of this brick road and the roof sort of flashing there, which we called Christmas decorations. Brought two effects together in that one. Next we have dark sprites, which was an odd visual bug that I had trouble replicating or getting exactly right, so I decided just to keep it in its state that it is. It makes all these sprites dark. Outside of that, not much mechanical about it. It was just an interesting sprite look, because it had like a almost black and white tone, like you can still see color. Anyways, interesting look, to say the least. The next couple of ones are, the next two ones are music ones. We had a nice Doppler organ effect, I thought. Has some delay to it. I dig it. And then we had Cursed Organ, which was an awful sounding one. Did I switch that one? This one. Yeah, there we go. Sounds like the organ needs tuning. Can you tune an organ? Either way. Terrible, terrible sounds. Like that one machine, I think what do they call it? The water or something that they use for horror movies to create all the jarring sound effects. Reminds me of that. Yeah, we're gonna move on. We have this one here, which is called Orphan Baby, which was a real sad one. It just came up randomly during the corruption. I noticed this little guy, this little thing up here. I thought it was a dog or something, and you picked it up and you realized, oh, it was a baby left on the church steps. And you can actually see we're still in the intro sequence. You can't even leave this area yet. The road's blocked off because you're still supposed to be meeting everyone. So yeah, this is definitely corruption in that case. Unfortunately, the baby doesn't let you interact with anything or even go indoors, and you can't drop it either. So it's yours now forever. This one next is just a visual corruption. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any way of being able to control the character in this case, or narrowing the corruption down to just be a visual bug. So all we have is just this one snapshot. Anything outside of that ruined the effect, so we have just a little snapshot there for that corruption. Next we have ghost sprites, which just change all these sprites to have this sort of ghostly look to them, outlined a certain way. Different sprites look different ways, and I actually didn't double check. Yeah, it looks like all sprites have this sort of effect to them. Just re-rolling that same effect, we also got muddy sprites, where it looks like at least the main character just came out of a grave, to be honest, and a couple other characters like the priest. Looks like he's covered in dirt. Same with the kid even. They all kind of look like they're covered in dirt. And the very last one was one that we did on the farm itself called Dread, which is yet another music corruption. And you can hear that now. And since that one's depressing and sad, we're going to switch back to Doppler organ, which sounds much better. And oh, that's right. My plans were to corrupt the ROM, so we're going to do that. We're going to load house here. We're going to select the cart ROM. Actually, we're going to select all domains. Do we have BIOS? We're not going to select system bus, because I don't want to only mess with that. Yep, everything else we'll mess with. We'll do an auto corrupt of spread. Intensity of 1. Hey, Baby Blue Ford, how you doing? Nice to see you again. And we'll do an auto corrupt for this. And we'll see how long it takes to crash. And it's already crashed. How about that? I forgot the arrow delay. But this may be reversible. Let's see. Yeah, we can still reverse out of it. We're going to do a delay of 10 steps. Oh. Seems like we have already affected the ROM though. So yeah, we're actually in perma crash. So that was Harvest Moon for the SNES. I like our stockpile for this one. Came out great, I think. Got a lot of nice ones in there. I'm doing a lot better with that. I will be uploading this corruption stockpile along with all the other ones. They're all the existing past streams are actually already up. If you check the YouTube videos, there'll be a Google Drive link to the corruption stockpile, so you can check it out there. If you have any questions or if you're curious to how you might get that started, how you can load the stockpile and play with it, shoot me a message. I should be able to help you out. And yeah, let me throw up some music here for the last bit of the stream. Actually, do Doppler organ. I still like the sound of this one. And I gotta think of a song to play now. Just some Jet Set Radio tribute. Too mellow. Alright, cool. And let me go and pull up the glitch harvester here and make sure I have a backup save before I close anything out. Just a precaution, I should say. Yep, good to go. That is saved. That will be uploaded soon. And we'll close the stream with a bit of music here. I should probably do something instrumental. That's alright. Thanks for anyone who could stop by for the stream. Like I said again, this corruption stockpile will be available in probably tomorrow. I'll upload it. It'll be on the YouTube channel. Feel free to check out all the ones we made. It was a pretty good one. We did a rundown of all the corruptions at the very end, so I have to really watch the last bit. And yeah, thanks for stopping by. Hope everyone has a good night. So find someone to host here. I gotta host more often. Grab someone here. Let's do streaming in retro.
Risky. Oh, we still got one more chance. Nice. Can't believe I did that. rookie Belmont mistake there. That was that.